We are in our 19th year of the Kenya Partnership and the 6th year of our student sponsorship program. I've seen the transformation of young students who are now confident, mature adults. I recall Brenda and Titus when I first met them. They were secondary students, I think it's Form 2 at Kapsabet. They were both quiet and shy, but they were top students in their classes, and their principal said they would be great leaders of the country someday. This past January, when we saw them, they are sophomores at the university. They were outgoing, they were talkative, they were extremely grateful for you who have allowed them to have their education and to see beyond for hope for their country. This is a video of Titus and his mother. He was home for the holiday, and we met him and his mom at their church in their home village.
Okay, my name is Titus Chumba Matilei, and here is my mother. She's very proud of me, and I'm also very happy that you are assisting me in my education. I'm really working hard. I'm very happy. As you can see, I'm very happy that your fellow sponsors have come to my village. This is my birth home, yeah, and I'm very happy for that. Thanks.
I remember Claudius as a sophomore in secondary school and now a sophomore in the university. His family lost everything several years ago during tribal conflict. His mother and his siblings now live with other relatives. They have no home of their own. Yet he is determined and proud, and he is such a fine young man. The impact this congregation has had on people in their lives in the Carrillo Valley was so evident when we were there in January. Students, parents, siblings, principals, they all showed their profound gratitude. We hope to convey some of their thanks to all of you today. Chuck and I were honored with the gift of a live chicken. It was from Harriet and her family. We had sponsored Harriet for several years in secondary school, and Harriet and her father walked several miles just to bring us this chicken. It's a gift truly given from the heart, and I've never ever received a chicken before, so it was profound. It was quite an experience. Our Kenya Partnership has become a deep passion for me. It has impacted my life, and friends in Kenya are my friends. Students there have called me Mom, and I am honored. I will continue to be a member of the Kenya Partnership team. I will co-lead our trip there in January of 2019. My heart is filled with gratitude and confidence as I hand the leadership of this partnership over to Catherine. Her heart is already with those I hold so dear, and I know she will lead this partnership and the sponsorship program to new places. Catherine, would you come? I received this symbol of leadership on my first trip to Kenya, and now I pass it on to Catherine with love and confidence and hope in the future. Bwana asifiwe.
Really glad she told me she was going to do that first, at least. But what I have come to learn about the Kenya Partnership that this congregation has developed over these years is that it's rooted in relationship. It's not about the dollars that are sent. It's not about the things that are purchased by our generosity. It's about the deep and abiding friendships that exist, the passing of pictures between members of our congregations and students miles away, the relationship that Deb has been able to develop with those of you who are sponsors, and the way she speaks with you and encourages you and empowers you for mission and service. The relationship that I've been able to build with Deb these months as we have transitioned in time. It's all about relationship. When Kip first visited this congregation so many years ago and felt moved by the Spirit here, I'm not surprised what emerged from that relationship. You need to know that there are 1 million Kenyan children who do not have access to education. Those who live in poverty, and girls especially, have much less of a chance. In Curio Valley, where many of our partners live, poverty is as high as 67%, and only 49% of the citizens there are literate. The relationship matters and has an impact, not just in what we send, but in why and how we send it and what we learn and gain in return. The Kenya Partnership involves sponsorship for students in secondary school and also students in university. Before their government loans kick in, we're able to help them to further their education. The Kenya Partnership works with Kenya Works, and we're so delighted to have the coincidence, is it a coincidence, of guests with us this morning. Through Kenya Works and our partnership, we're able to provide Makini pads, reusable pads for 200 girls at Leiter Secondary School, 300 at Sambalat Primary School, and also our sponsored students. That allows these girls to go to school every day, not just most days. The partnership involves providing Lucy lights, solar-powered lights, to let people study when the night falls because there isn't adequate electricity or lighting for them. And the partnership involves women's loans for women to start up businesses to sustain themselves and their families. Over the years, though, it's the relationships that matter. You'll hear about all of these outreach possibilities, but you'll also hear in this presentation about relationship. In the videos, twice you'll hear a phrase, one day, one time. One day, one time, an expression of hope from those whose lives have been touched by yours. One day, one time, they hope to take what they have learned and benefited from and encourage someone else. This is one day, one time, and I encourage you to consider the partnership as we share in its presentation this morning.
Hi, I'm Greg, and I was lucky enough to have been amongst the group that visited there earlier this year. Each of the students and principals we met were so grateful for the student sponsorship program. In the following 3 short videos, let's listen first to Abraham, then Winfred, and then Winfred's principal, as each expresses what the student sponsorship program means to them.
I'm Abraham Kimutai Biwa. I'm in Form 2 and I am the third one in a family of 7 children, 3 brothers and 4 sisters. And my message to the United States of America is just to thank them for their opportunity that they offered us to study and learn in this school. So since I got this opportunity, I promise that I will be working hard to become a successful person in this nation and to become a person that can be depended by the entire country. Another thing is just to say thanks to all of you and God bless you so much. Thank you.
And now Winfred.
My name is Winfred Champarusha. I'm done in Moikopsoa Girls High School. I'm saying thank you for the chance given, and I promise that I will work smart in my education so that to achieve my goals and help other kids younger than me in the future. I would like to go into university one day, one time, and I want to be a news anchor.
News anchor.
Thank you.
And Winfred's principal.
Okay, my names are Mrs. Mary Rita, Deputy Principal, Moikapswara Girls. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank you for supporting our girls through their education. I want to also thank each sponsor for touching the lives of these girls and pray that may God help them and give them long lives so that they can be able to continue supporting. Our previous girls have been doing very well. They have been going to the university. We say thank you so much and may God bless you. So when you go back, greet the church and tell them we are so happy as a community of Moikapswara Girls. Be blessed.
So what was it like for me to meet in person the student that my wife Mary and I sponsor? The day started with a dusty, bouncy vehicle ride that curved through 100 mountain switchbacks, plowed through streams, not over the streams, but through the streams, avoided hitting cows and sheep, went through who knows where, and after a few hours stopped at the school. And then it happened. You meet the 2 to 3 kids at this particular high school whose education is sponsored by First Congoites. And you meet the student who was assigned to you. It's awesome. It's just awesome. A hug, a few minutes of talking in English, and the awkwardness of meeting turns into genuine smiles. A getting to know that only happens in person. Sheila, the student we sponsored, doesn't like sports, likes to read and be with friends, and wants to be a doctor. Could have been any senior at Appleton East. A bubbly young person who insisted on dragging me into her classroom so her friends could share the moment. Her friends went nuts. The classroom was bedlam, and the teacher gave me the evil eye after a few minutes because I had disrupted his class. Actually, he gave me the evil eye right off the bat, but she dragged me in there. So Sheila and I then went back to the formality of joining the others in the principal's office. And then too soon, it's goodbye, and you climb back into the dusty, dirty, bouncy vehicle. You're sad. The obstacles are so many for the student assigned to you. It isn't fair. There's only so much you can do, but you're happy because the sponsorship is real and it makes a difference. And now, Matt.
Good morning. The Kenyan government pays for education through grade 8, but secondary school is paid for by the students or by the parents of the students. Many youth are unable to attend secondary school because their parents cannot afford the cost. College and university educations are also difficult to attain as there is a significant cost for the first year that many families cannot afford. By the request of our Kenyan partners, we have established a sponsorship program to support students of need. These students apply for a sponsorship and are selected by a panel of church leaders from our partners in Kenya. Besides need, students must also be high achievers and show potential to be leaders in their communities. Our sponsors have the opportunity to support a full or half sponsorship for $650 or $325 respectively. The program has grown over the past few years, as you can see in the chart shown on the screen. In the first year, 3 sponsoring families supported 2 university students. In the years since, we have sponsored 101 different students. Last year, we had 66 sponsors, 12 of them were first-time sponsors. Together, we have sponsored 52 high school students and 5 college students. To help facilitate this growing program, our Kenyan partners have added a coordinator position to help assist with the flow of information and resources between the students and their sponsors. In order to ensure that this program remains sustainable, we also began a 5-year projection that will help us evaluate the changing costs, changes in the number of sponsors, and other factors. This program continues to be the most important to our Kenya partners. As you will see and hear over the next few minutes, this program has touched many lives. Here's a video of one of our former university graduates, Caroline, and she talks about wanting to one day sponsor students herself. It is followed by the principal from Simbiri. She describes how thankful she is for our support of Bilha, a student whose parents had to sell land in order to start sending her to school.
I'm Caroline Gochumba Chebet from Kero Valley. I studied at University of Eastern African Burich. I trained as a nurse, and I graduated in August 2015. And the government of Kenya sent me for an internship at Kakamega County General Hospital for 1 year. And I stayed there. After finishing my internship, I stayed for 3 months. Then I got a job at Baringo County as Aeon Care and Case Manager. I'm working with an insurance company, and most of my job description includes advocating for my clients, sensitizing them on the importance of having a medical cover or an insurance cover, and also sensitizing them on these chronic conditions like hypertension, cancer, and diabetes, and peptic ulcer disease, and also other conditions that are really emerging in Kenya. So I really thank you so much for your support. You really supported me through my education when I was in University of African Burich. The money was really a lot, but you really helped me so much, and I'm really thankful for that. And also I really pray that God will have me one day, one time, so that even I can sponsor someone like the way you people sponsored me. I'm really thankful so much, and may God bless you a lot. Thank you.
We need to pray for one another. So that we pray for one another. So these girls sometimes come from very needy families. I remember this girl, Bill Hajito, when she came last year, she broke up. And it was not a very good story. For her to come to school, the parents had to sell some piece of land. So, I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy for her. Another time they went over for half time and she didn't come at the right time. She told me she didn't have transport. Yeah, the situation where they had to sell some pork or chicken to get transport. So sometimes the girls are also so good. They have a kit for the little girls. They buy soap, they are able to identify a little girl, and they are able to share soap and so on. I'm really happy for Bella.
Have you ever been in a situation where you're not able to feed your children? Or how about not being able to send them to school? Life in the remote Kerio Valley requires women to use every ounce of ingenuity they have to just have their family survive and thrive. And it's truly with heartfelt gratitude that they express their thanks for the women's loans that has enabled them to start businesses, small businesses, so they can support their families. And these businesses range from things like selling vegetables, maybe a hair salon, sewing clothes where they're sewing school uniforms or just regular clothing, or small general stores. The money they make gives them the resources they need to take care of their families. And as they pay back the loans, It gives them a true sense of accomplishment and that they know they are now helping another woman in turn. We'll see a video now of Mildred interpreting for one of the ladies, her name is Vivian, who has been given one of the women's loans.
Kiku palateram bagara tiniru ni manganyu ki tarde mbroye chungi tane bi alang gonbe bare. We were digging our own land, but this money that you have given unto us, we have also asked the other people to help us using the money. Ki magitunga basro chakrami, we didn't have good clothes. Ngani ki tarde mbroye chungi kalam basro chakrami. This loan or the loan has helped us also to buy good clothes and wear them. Ibu mau gambar kamera, tambah gaya menbaca film sekitar deka, lakini kita nyuri cuci, kita harus take up. We were moving around looking for people to give us money, but this loan helped us so much. Through this loan, our husbands actually increased love to us. Our children also loved us. So we are all happy as families. Our children want them to see you people. They talk about you because they can now get a balanced diet through the loan. May God bless you. May continue to help you so that He can give you more. We are so happy, we don't have words to express our happiness. May God bless you so much.
You've heard about our Makini pad project. The washable, reusable pads are made in Kenya by Kenyan women at the Kenya Works place, and we have been able to supply not only the pads, but also underwear, which they had never had previously, for all the girls at the Latir High School. Also, all of our sponsored students, the students, female students that are sponsored by our congregation, have been provided with underwear and Makini pads. And the younger students at the Sambalat Primary School have been provided with underwear, which makes it much more comfortable and more dignified for them when they are participating in high jump during school recess. When we visited the Latir Girls' School 2 years ago, and we talked to the girls about the Makini pads and how they felt about them and if they were working well for them, they were so excited. And they told us because we had given them such a wonderful gift that the next time we came to visit, they wanted to give us something equally as wonderful. You will see the picture of what this year's traveling team was gifted with when they came back in January.
And like Deb mentioned, I had never gotten a sheep before. My name is Amy Eubank, and I've had the privilege of going to Kenya and visiting our children that our church sponsored to go to school. 2 years now. This past January, a group of 5 of us visited with 44 of our sponsored students. Not only did our sponsored students, but teachers and mothers and fathers and brothers all sought us out to express their gratitude. This year, I heard a common thread among our sponsored students. Many of them promised to give back to another child when they graduate. Our students told us that they recognize the sacrifice the sponsors make and that they go through, and that they see it as such an importance that they will also help a needy child in the Kirio Valley. This all reminds me of a book that I picked up at a thrift store this past summer. It's called Pay It Forward. Many of you have read the book or seen the movie, or you know of the idea. In the book, a 7th grade teacher poses an extra credit assignment to his class. The assignment is, think of an idea to change the world and put it into action. Trevor is the 7th grader who comes up with the idea of Pay It Forward, and he does put it into action. Trevor's idea is to help 3 people with only the condition that they in turn help others. Unfortunately, in the book and movie, it does not turn out as he thought it would. He actually believes that he failed miserably. However, without even realizing it, he created a movement. His Pay It Forward idea made positive changes in so many people's lives. I feel like our church is creating a movement. We are influencing and changing so many lives for the better that we'll probably never understand its depth. Our students that we sponsor are telling us that they will pay it forward. Currently, we have an amazing group of dedicated Kenyans committed to the Kenya children and the student sponsorship. We also have a pretty amazing Kenya partnership group here, if I do say so myself. We will be welcoming Kenya partners, Mildred and Jeremiah, to our church in April. Both are the Kenya Scholarship Committee, and they are highly respected in the Kerio Valley. Next year, like Deb mentioned, we'll be celebrating our 20th anniversary with our Kenya partners. It's strong. Because of our strong team, both in Kenya and at our church, I can tell you with confidence that we have the ability to expand and grow our student scholarship program. Please consider sponsoring a Kenya student. Without education, children are easily caught up in gang violence. They are easily exploited for political means. This movement that we have been creating is not just about giving these kids money, it's about giving them hope. It's about creating something that will continue to grow that we cannot even imagine. Our sponsored children are so very grateful. They want a connection with us. So on behalf of the children that I visited in Kenya, they wanted me to greet you. They want to thank you. They are sending you blessings. They are praying for you. They want to see your face, and they want you to live long lives. As always, I am reminded of the quote from Nelson Mandela, "Education is the most powerful weapon we have to change the world." A donation can easily be made through our website, even with your mobile device. Bawana Asafiwe.